Hello, hello, hello. My name is Ekello Herod, and this is the Future Fiction Academy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the brand spanking new year. Hello, Plumestone. What's up? 17 people in here. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the new year and a new year of classes with the Future Fiction Academy. Today, we're going old school. We are, well, actually, old school, new school, as it were. I actually have a new microphone, and so I'm going to be sounding hopefully a lot better than I used to. I used to use this microphone right here. It's a it's a little Sterling Audio microphone, and it did the job for a really long time. But I was getting all these plotives and stuff like that where it would pop really, really badly, and I've got a pop filter on here, so I'm hoping that I do improve that for all of you. Welcome. So I spent the last week trying to do work but failing miserably. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this live stream today was I figured out, oh, hello, everybody. I love this. I love this. Plumestone says hello. Chrissa, hello, Chrissa. Colleen, good morning. Good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Rick. It's so nice everybody's here. Thank you, Chrissy. But this microphone's better. It's just a much more rounded, much more vibrant, much more. It gives my voice a little more oomph and follow through. So I'm very excited about starting with this new microphone. I actually got it from someone who was uh, a musician friend of mine, and he passed away, and he gave me this before he passed away, and so I was very. I have never really used it because I didn't actually want to use it for anything other than recording, but it is absolutely beautiful. Let's see. Hey, you, how you doing, Orla? Hi, how you doing, Lisa? Lisa and I hung out. Where are you at? Lisa and I hung out at Author Nation, and we had ourselves a blast, didn't we, Lisa? It was so much fun. Dallas, great. Sounds great. Good. I'm glad. I do like this. Oh, and the first sighting of my studio cat this year. Welcome to Gracie of the Gracie Grace. Gracie Sisson, that's her name. Yes, she is, and she's a beautiful. Wow, everyone is here. Good morning. How you doing, Alicia? How you doing, Tanya? How you doing? Just rise and grind. Oh, wow, everyone is here. Let's see here. Literally woke up a few minutes before. Let's see. Amber says before the live, LOL. Gracie, yes, Gracie. And Whiskey, what's up, Whiskey 160? How you doing? Oh, man, this makes me, oh, thank you, Gracie. How you doing, girl? Tell everybody Happy New Year, huh? Meow, meow. That's right. So what are we doing today? We're going to go old school today, and we are going to talk about first, we're going to talk motivations and what you want to get done this year. And then we're going to talk about how to use the Easy Peasy book machine to write a novel in a day's time. We're not going to do that today because that would take about 8 hours. But what we will do today is really think and plan and write down. I will actually be keeping a pad note. Oops. Didn't want to do that. I'm going to be keeping a notepad note of all of this stuff. Actually, I should probably just build a Notion. I will build a Notion page. And then at the end, I will put it at the bottom of, let me see here. Let me get out of the company one, and I'm going to get into my own personal Notion. I'm going to put this in my database and make a new page. Where are you? Okay, and we're going to call this live stream 01 04 2025. Holy crap, everyone. That's the first time I've written that date down. It is 2025. Don't you all love the fact that time rolls on and we move steadily into the future? Well, you all should be excited about it because every month marches on and we get new innovations in artificial intelligence. Last year was very innovative and very much marquee year for AI. We got the foundation model O1, and then we ended the whole year with an even larger foundation model O3. And those alone you think would be enough to like really get writers jazzed, but there are so many new techniques for training models and all of those things. So what I want to do is I want to have a serious discussion. What is your motivations for this year? Do you have any goals? What will get you to sit down and make a book? Now, the reason I want you to think about writing a novella in a day's time, writing a novella in a day's time is because I want you, I want you to not not sweat the first draft. I want the first draft to be as quickly generated and come out of the computer, your idea out of the computer as quickly as possible. And in order for that to happen, you have to know your motivations, know the reasons why you're doing things, doing the things that you're doing. I, as you know, have a pretty nice database built out inside of Google Notebook. I have a whole notebook that's called the Raptorite course, but it's kind of needs to be changed to more like my Future Fiction Academy brain. Second brain is what I should call it, because it helps me kind of take all of the aggregate knowledge that we have and use those things that are at my fingertip to make nice classes for y'all to actually have actionable things, easy actionable things that you can accomplish. So the idea is that I want you to like visualize the idea of what your novella is going to be. I want you to think about that novella and think about the completion of that first draft, that beautiful, wonderful. I start in the morning and I end in the evening. It's my 8-hour day, and that's the first day of your publishing of a book, one book a week. So if you wanted to, you could publish, let's say you wanted to publish 25 books this year, which, by the way, in the FFA, we have a challenge right now, 25 in 25. We want 25 different pieces of content. That means you can have books that you write, you can have translations that you write, but 25 pieces, uses of IP. So maybe you write a short game that takes place in the universe, and people can play that game, right? That would count towards your 25. We have been really iterating inside of the academy lately. And so what one of the main things that we're doing is we're honing in on all of the new people and all of the people inside of the mastermind who are trying their best to write consistently and really well quality stuff with artificial intelligence. We all know that. We all know that that's what we're trying to do. What is new is that if you look at the calendars over at the Future Fiction Academy Facebook page, you will see that we have groups, small groups that are starting to form up inside of the academy, small little groups helping each other with things like craft and technical technique and all of those things. So that stuff is super exciting that those things are developing. But those knowledge bases, those little nuggets, those little focus groups are going to be great for everybody who's not in the academy and who wants themselves a standalone class. Now, let's talk about standalone classes. If you are motivated to get into this 25 and 25 sort of jammy jam, I want you to think about looking at our individual classes. We have things on everything from the introduction to artificial intelligence and writing, all the way up to specific classes on romance and technique. And I mean, just so many classes, and we're bringing them out consistently. And I have a lot of work I actually have to do this month because I've got at least one class to do, and probably I would like to have another class in February. So I've got a lot of stuff that I'm building too, but there are so many classes that you can go over to the academy and get yourself a class. Now, what I want you to do is, as you think about this process of your mindset and your motivations and your goals, I want you to embrace the iterative process and the nature of writing. Sometimes you don't like the thing that you write first. Don't be afraid to make a mistake here and there, because you are not a T-Rex. You can reach your arms out to the keyboard and the AI can write something that you don't like, and you can kind of iterate on that and make that better. So I want you to definitely focus in on the idea of embracing the iterative process. I want you to focus on enjoying the creative journey. I want it to be like a thrill that brings your story to life. I want you to have the idea and then have the wherewithal to follow through in a day's time to get the story just down. I want it to be down and I want it to be out of your brain so that you can iterate on that process even more. See, everything ties in with everything. As you iterate on that process, you will get a better and better copy. And by the end of the week, you will have created yourself something that you can hand off to an editor, and that editor can tell you whether or not you are crazy or not, whether you are going down the wrong tree or not. And then you've only wasted a week of your time. And if you really, really wanted to, you can have a list of 5 things. And after you've messed up the first thing in one week, you could go to the second thing in another week and maybe just have a motivation and an idea to get 12 books, 1 book a month out. And this becomes part of your process. The first day of the month, you create a book in a day. And if you don't like it, the next day you create another book in a day. If you don't like it, you keep iterating on the process. Or you take each one of those processes, right? You make 4 books in 1 week. And you take the first book and finish it in that first week. And then each week, each iterative week after that, you then use those extra ones to do that too. You can you can focus in on enjoying the creative journey, because if you don't focus in on it and enjoy the building of these stories and the buildings of these universes, then why the heck are you here? don't be looking at me trying to get motivation where you don't have it in your own self. If you don't really, really, really like doing this, then like if it's really that much of a heartache, then you have to kind of evaluate either your process or your reasons. Okay. And one of those things is going to help yield a larger amount of production in 2025. If you can conquer one of those two things, it will definitely move you in the right direction. So I want you to focus on your creative journey and the thrill of writing stories, okay? And the passion, enthusiasm of these key ingredients for successful like writing. When you're writing a marathon, when you're doing a marathon in a day's time and you're trying to write something very quickly, you really have to understand and enjoy the process. Now, it's like, all right, procrastination is not your friend. We know that. It's not your friend. It's a enemy of creativity that is about as, I mean, you might want to even call it on the level of a nemesis, procrastination. So what you should do is do it now. If you don't do it now, you might never do it. You have to embrace the power of AI and the way that it can help you do it now, get it done. You need to get on board. You need to do these things with the tools that you have been given, and it will increasingly sophisticate your processes. It will make your processes very, very sophisticated. Yet, with that sophistication, you will get simplicity, and you'll be in the zone, and you'll lock in, and you'll understand. And through this entire process, you will understand story better. That's simple, easy, and like actionable things that you can do is really just embrace the idea of the tools that you are being given and the things that we are showing you, and take them to the nth degree. Be curious about that tool, and it will yield even more than you think it will. AI can be a valuable tool that for overcoming writer's block. It can keep you creative. It can keep those creative juices flowing. It can keep things moving and just moving and moving and moving. So if you embrace this idea of using the AI to the best of your ability, then you will, and to the best of its ability, have the imagination to push it to the nth degree, to the point where it breaks. Let it break things. You aren't going to lose stuff, just break stuff, okay? Because it's valuable. You have to think of it as a partner, and how it enhances your creativity. It's not gonna be your creativity or take over your creativity. It usually gives you the ability to spur create. It gives your brain the ability to spit out more creativity on a daily basis. All right, so let's talk about how we're gonna like manage this day. You're gonna write for the first time. You're gonna write an entire novella in a day. I want you to let's start thinking about this like, I'm going to first minimize that, and I'm going to change to this and lock this. Sorry, y'all. I have to. Let me see. Can I just do this? There we go. Sorry, y'all can't see any of this. And let me see what your questions are. Woo, 46 comments. Dear goodness. Thank you for the pretty cat. Just rise and grind. Happy New yep. Happy New Year. Novella in a day. Yes. Bought the class A Novella in a Day. This is a very good advertisement for that class, everyone. if you if you want to write a novella in a day, there are actionable, perfect class for writing a novella in a day. An absolute perfect segue into the fact that the Future Fiction Academy has so many standalone classes, including one based around this live stream today. I didn't teach it, but it will give you specifics and actionable things that you can use from this moment on in order to get your stuff done. So make sure you definitely click on the link below and go over to the academy and pick up that class. Good morning, Al. How you doing? My favorite AI, Al. AI Nelson. I know. Range and word count. Let's see. Whiskey. What's this? I'm curious as novellas have a range of word count. So, what is the approximate word count for a novella in a day? Would it be in the top end around 40K? No. I would say it would be more around 13. I mean, yeah, 13, between 10 and 13 chapters. And you can be from 1,000 to 1,000 to 3,000 words per chapter. So it could go up to 36,000. So if you go 12 chapters, that's 36. 13 chapters, that's 39, I think. Anyway, so if it was me, I would be writing the chapters somewhere around $3,000 a chapter. Maybe, I mean, you can write a really quick novella in 1,000 words a chapter. Something really quick with individual interlocking stories pretty quickly. So it can be anywhere from 12,000 words all the way up to 40,000 words. 45,000 words, actually. 50 is kind of considered a novel. So unless you are writing epic fantasy, then 50 is definitely a novella. Let's see. Notion and I still have a love-hate relationship. Yes, Dallas. Yeah, me and Notion kind of have a wee bit of a love-hate relationship. There are 50 people in here. Holy crap. All right, I will be definitely getting back to the lesson in a second, where we talk about motivations and stuff like that. Actually, how far have we gotten in my motivations talk? Just a second. We've actually gotten through motivations, and we're talking about time management. All right, so let me just make sure that I'm getting everybody's questions. I need my glasses. AI Al. Sorry, Al. I love to call you AI. All right, usually about 20 to 25 for the previous ones I have seen on this channel, but you could do 40. I'm adding more chapters. Second brain. I thought that was the gut. Is these food involved? Now I'm hungry. Second brain. I thought that was the gut. No, I use a second brain apparatus to facilitate a lot of stuff that I do inside of the academy because I have ADHD and I am dyslexic, and so those two things put together have been a long time. It took a long time for me to figure out how to do things where I sit down and write or I had to figure out a whole new way to do all of that stuff because my brain just won't sit down and I can't type out all of my stories. I can dictate my stories, but I can't just type out all of my stories. Let's see here. Thank you, Al. Cool. uh, or 25 formats. Wait a minute. What? Future Fiction Academies. Did someone answer on? Hey, is there someone here from Future Fiction Academy? It's so nice to see whoever's in there sneaking around and answering questions. Thank you. You must be on the studio page because you're not in here. You're not in here with me. Wow. This last week with I've been productive in the last 6 months. Let's see. This last week with AI, I think I've been as productive as the previous 6 months with just bits of time here and there. Holy crap. I'm just, it is extremely exciting when I hear someone say something like that because I have the hardest time. I am neurally divergent in a very significant way. And I can get things like videos published and short stories published and stuff like that. And in doing that sort of thing, I feel so fulfilled because I thought that I felt like I wasn't, and I know I'm smart now. I know. I know I have a level of intelligence that that can help contribute to society. But back in the day, because I did not adhere to the pretty much factory output of the American education system very well. I wasn't able to sit in that entire system very well. I had issues with all kinds of things that carried over to college and everything. And it wasn't until I was a grown man that I was able to figure out why I was this way and how best to use as many tools as I could to help me do the things that I love to do. You may not know this. I am I have been a professional actor for years, but during this time, I was spending a lot of time taking pictures, faces of pictures of faces, because I'm surrounded by beautiful people. All these actors, I would take time and bring in my camera and shoot all of these people, and I shot a lot of them. I mean, hundreds of actors over the years. And I also do landscapes and stuff like that. But I needed Photoshop. I needed Lightroom. I needed those tools to make me a better photographer, especially when I wasn't a good one in the beginning. I needed those tools to help me with my exposure when I made a mistake. I needed those tools. And you need those tools. You have to, in order if in order for you to get anything done in this world, in this world, this future world, not an agrarian society, not some society, that I want to throw back to or think is so ideal, but honestly, this day, this world that we live in, I think that if you don't use the AI tools and all of the things that have been given to you, then you are shortchanging yourself and you will burn out or not be motivated. These people who write, honestly, just sit down and write 12 books in 1 year, a book a month manually. I take my hat off to those people. They are bad A's. I don't want to get demonetized. So I want you to definitely think about this. Okay, let me go here. Let me see here. Let me just check on everybody. Wow, everyone is just back and forth and back and forth. Uh is this place to see the list of classes? Is there a place to see the list of classes? I'm inteachable and only see a handful. I know the mastermind gives access to all. Thanks. Oh, so Alicia, you're in the mastermind. If you're in the mastermind, uh, those classes, I think they sit. Oh, someone help me out here. I think they sit in a specific section of the teachable. Teachable. There we go. Oh, did someone just come into my, I heard a boom sound. What was that? Uh, huh. Um, oh, I got a ping from Christina. If you are watching right now, what I meant, sorry everyone, I heard a ping and I was trying to figure out where that was coming from. Okay, Christina, if you're watching right now, meaning when I said that those classes will come out of the small groups, I meant that the inspiration for different subjects and um, will come from people inside of the FFA who make individual classes. They'll be able to maybe spur some new idea. I was just talking speculatively. I don't want you. I was like, what is that ping? Is that, did she ask? Uh-oh. I just didn't want you to be confused by that. Okay. Let me see here. Sorry about that, everyone. I was looking for the teachable thing. If you actually ping the Facebook page, Alicia, and they will. That's just not my thing. My thing is the YouTube page, and so I do stuff on the site, but I spend a lot more time in the YouTube interface. So I apologize. I wish I could answer that question more definitively. I like the Rap to Right course. I'm a bit confused because I'm totally blind and can't see what's going on. Oh, you uh, does that mean you're blind? Uh, Joseph? Let me know. I bought the one class. Does that mean I can be a part of the 20 for 25? That is a internal metric that we are all kicking off. I believe on Monday we're all kicking that off as this as an internal class for the mastermind people. But to be quite honest with you, there is no reason that you cannot yourself participate in an abstract way in this 25 and 25. So here's the concept, if I had not explained it before. 25 and 25 is any piece of IP that you decide that you want that you want to make. If it's books and you put 25, you put 5 books out and you have 5 translations for each one of those books: Portuguese, Spanish, German, French, and there's it's got to be one more. I know there's another one, but those 4 plus your actual book is 5, right? So your book is in English, and then the 4 translations, and you could do 5 books and then do 4 translations, and that's your 25 and 25. You know what you could also do? You could also make. There's a group called a new company that's coming up right now called Spoken. You can go over to spoken.com or spoken.ai. I don't know which. You go over there and you could take your book. You can put your book in there, and it can. I think they make audiobooks out of those. It's a new experimental thing. It's right now, it's free, and they just started this program, and it's a brand new company, and they're trying to figure all this stuff out. So take it with a grain of salt if you are able to actually make an audiobook over there. But you need to just go over there and see if you can do that. Or you can use an 11 Labs client or something like that to create entire books for your entire audiobooks for your book. That could be one thing. So maybe you have 3 translations in an audiobook for every one of those things that come out, right? Then that's 5 books, 1 audiobook, 5 books, 5 audiobooks, and however many translations to fill out, 25. It's real straightforward. Really, really straightforward. We're very excited to be doing this inside the FFA. The difference between being inside and outside of the FFA is we have accountability inside, where we are all looking and helping and trying to motivate and all of those things inside of the mastermind. So you can do whatever you want. You can make whatever IP you want. Remember, I said one of those IPs could be a video game. It's a very simple hangman video game or something like that that you build from scratch that maybe uses a picture and you have a hangman thing. I'm telling you, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Joseph, I sat in let me some of these comments, I'm like, what is happening here? The list of art future here allowed to be. There we go. Colleen for the win. The list ought to be under the Future Fiction Academy Lab tab in Teachable. There's also a post in the Facebook group about where to start in the mastermind for the link as well. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate it. And yes, fail faster. That's right. Hey, get the reps in. That's right. I like the quote. Great, do it again. It's awesome. Great, do it again. Do it again. Okay. So now we've kind of talked about how what I want you to do first, when you get this whole party started, when you're writing a novella in a day, I want you to think, one, I want you to get the course over at thefuturefictionacademy.com. You can go over and get the course on how to introduction how to write a novella in a day. This is a lot of the information that I'm using is an aggregate of things that you will find inside of that course. As a matter of fact, the course has got real like notes and all of this stuff. This live stream is a completely different animal. We are just talking about how you get these things started and how we get to the so let's think about the day. The day is, let's call it 8 hours long. So what I want you to do is think that everything you're going to do on the book will be done before lunch. Everything that you're going to, all your ideation, your character building, your outlining, your verification, all of those things are done before lunch. That's what the first 4 hours is for. Is to sit down, figure out what you're going to actually plug into the Easy Peasy book machine. Okay. You can use the Easy Peasy book machine to actually start this entire process out. So think about it like this. I want my first hour of to be about ideation. Just figuring out what I'm going to write. Figuring out kind of the logistics of what that thing is going to be. I'm going to maybe look at some, have Raptorite just actually help me with 5, 6, 10, 12 ideas. Read through those ideas, sip on my coffee, which, by the way, might as well have some energy. And just go through the process, okay? And then things start getting a little more loosey goosey. After you figured out what the idea is, let's see here. After you've figured out what I was like, I know I have a banner for this. After you figured out the idea, right? And oh, by the way, this was the motivation. This was the one that was supposed to be the motivations one. All right. So after you're done with that process of how to organize, after you like in the middle of the process, you're like figuring out all your ideation in the first hour. You're then spending the next 3 hours making your using the everything from the ideation, meaning making your characters, fleshing out your characters, making your outline and synopsis and all that stuff, and fleshing it out, making writing things and changing things yourself. And then at the next 4 hours, it is actually, this should not take you 4 hours. After you get everything straight and the machine is set up before lunch, right? You have the whole thing, all your story and the machine set up. Then, then you run the easy peasy book machine after lunch. Everything is set up. You've done all your validation. You want this, you have the story going in all of the directions that you want it to go. If that's the case and you have the stories in the direction you want it to go, okay, then the only thing you have to do after lunch is run the easy peasy book machine. There's something called the gladiator method where you let it do its thing, where it comes up with the plan to write chapter. Let's start with chapter 1. Comes up with a plan to write chapter 1, writes chapter 1, comes up with a plan to edit chapter 1, writes and writes the edited plan to rewrite the chapter. It's at these points where you can change the AI. So you say, "Hey, I now have written the plan with O1 to write chapter 1. Now I want to actually write it with Claude. And then you can do all of that. You can change all of those things. You can do all of that. And just get through the draft. You can read that chapter, but only at the end of the entire process for that chapter, meaning the plan, the build of the first draft, the plan to edit it, and the build of the second draft or final draft. Which, by the way, the Easy Peasy Book Machine, which if you want, there's a link right in the description of this video at the top from the Thanksgiving live stream, and you'll scroll about 3/4 of the way down, you'll find the Easy Peasy Book Machine. Now, you take the Easy Peasy Book Machine and you can, it's not locked in. This is not a prompt that if you do something to the prompt quickly that it will that if you do something to the prompt quickly that it will break it. It takes a lot to break this prompt. What you could do is you could have it actually iterate 2 or 3 more times and look at that and edit that plan and then rewrite it again. So you have it go through that one chapter 5 times if you want. You can do whatever you want with the Easy Peasy Book Machine. And as you get through each one of those and get to the end of your process with each chapter, you validate that it's still going in the right direction. And that will save you all the time in the world when you are editing later. And that right there, that's the whole kip and caboodle in a very short and not specifically detailed way. It is a overview, a idea, a way for you to really understand where you're going and how you're getting there. Okay. Ideation for an hour. Futzing, validating, fixing, becoming your own story for 3 hours. And then you're generating in the last 4 hours, you're generating and reading. You're generating, editing, reading. Generating, editing, reading. Okay. And then you're doing this over and you're doing it over and you're doing it over and you're doing it over. And then at the end, you've already read each one of those chapters that you've gone through. You've been able to figure out whether or not this thing is going off the rails completely. You've been able to keep everything straight. And 12 or 13 chapters later, you will be done. And you can do whatever you want with that. You can publish it. You can hate it. You can fail fast. Okay? You can, Colleen said fail fast, and boy, is Colleen right. Fail fast. Let's see. Course on romance, but you don't see a course on that. I did post in I did see the post in the group. It's called Love to Mayhem. Oh, it's the one called Love to Mayhem. Yes, that is true. Love to Mayhem. Let me see here. Yeah, there's someone else who's helping me out with my thing today. Who's helping me out with that? Okay, so let's talk about the Easy Peasy book machine. Okay, it's if you want the Easy Peasy book machine, make sure that you click the link, go to the Notion page, go down to the bottom, copy paste that stuff over, and use it in your own AI tool of choice. I like Raptorite and the very recently revealed Plot Drive, which is a whole different thing, and we're going to be talking about that a lot more in a later time. But I have to say, the reason we built the Easy Peasy book machine was so that you would have a definitive way to actually get a book done quickly. I actually don't think you should write a book in a day's time, a novella in a day's time. It is, in my brain, it's sort of stressful. It's sort of stressful. The idea that I'm waking up in the morning, but it might be somebody's like Zen place to wake up in the morning, sit down, crack their knuckles, and get into writing an entire novella in a day. I don't personally think that you I for my own personal taste, I do not like doing that. I like to spread it out over 2 or 3 days and then spend my last 2 days kind of really getting that thing done, right? It's one of those it's a Easy Peasy book machine is a tool, a very powerful tool that is used inside of Raptorite and soon other programs. And the way that it's deployed, it makes it so that you have all the power. You want it to be about a specific thing, you change all of that stuff inside of the prompt. You want it to not be 10 chapters, you want it to be 20 chapters, you want it to be an entire novel. You change it in the prompt. All of these things are put together to give you, the author, the creative, control. So use the Easy Peasy Book Machinist, which is the most powerful thing that we put out for a very long time, that we've given away for free, and we keep giving away free stuff. Y'all, one of the most powerful things that you can use today, and it's free. So all I ask is, when you're using the machine, is that you use it responsibly. With great power comes great responsibility. I am a comic book guy. As a matter of fact, if I hadn't read comic books, I probably wouldn't have read anything of significance until I was well into my 20s or something. So I have a lot of comic book adages, and I'm telling you very, very definitively that if you use the machine correctly, it will help you write a good novel. You just have to do the work. This is not a push button solution. And even when we do get a push button solution, we're still going to be you still have to do the work. You still have to do all the validation. When we finally get to a ability to put a prompt in, a very small prompt, and get an entire novel, you're still going to have to do the validation, or else it'll look like a piece of crap and be a piece of crap. Holy crap, I cannot get these read. Hey, Future Fiction Academy person who's in the background, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, whoever you are. Amber, he'll get there. Let's see. Kello is super behind on chat, so he'll probably not see us. Tell him we got it. You got what? Yes, yep. 100%. He'll get there. Dutch, Italian. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm really behind. Oh, look. Considering transitions counting towards the oh, look at me not considering translations as counting towards the 20 and 25. That's right. That's right. Think about it like that. Think about it like that, y'all. Wow, I am really behind. Maybe late. Made it, but late. Hey, how you doing, Rachel? Oh my goodness. Christina, hi from Thailand. Christina, LOL. The fastest I've met is huge fatigue. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up on all of this. Your ability to multitask like that. Oh yeah. And how you doing, Rachel? How you doing? Okay. So when you're using the machine, it's nice to actually get caught up. So when you're using the machine, be responsible. If you put crap out, you're the one that's contributing to the narrative that AI is going to kill us all. It's not fair for you to write with tools like this and to do it badly. Take care. Even if you aren't as good a writer as you think you are, you know what you like to read. Edit stuff to the point where it looks like the things that you like to read, and everybody will be happy. That's it. It's a very simple concept. Use this tool and these responsibilities to the best of your ability and be good about this. Be a good person when it comes to working with this. Now, I want you to think about the Easy Peasy Book Machine being kind of your foundation around your business. Maybe at some point you get a much better tool like Plot Drive that will take something like the Easy Peasy Book Machine and even supercharge it even more. But for right now, You can use it inside of Raptor absolutely free, and uh, with Open Router and everything. Let me just make sure. Character development outlines and techniques. See, I was gonna try and go over some things like talking about ideation and stuff like that, but we already did. So I had a little banner that says finding a concept that can sustain a novella with help from the easy peasy book machine prompts, and we literally talked about all of that. And then character shortcut development shortcuts, creating compelling characters quickly. Let's talk about character development. So, what are the first things that you need to do when you're making your story? One of the first things you need to do is figure out what your story is even going to be. Then you need to make your protagonist, and then all of the supporting characters that you need, including your antagonist. Whether your antagonist is a real person or an entity of some sort, whatever it is, you need these elements to get your story off the ground. The easy peasy book machine is built to help you develop your characters. But if I were you, okay, if I were you, I would think about using some type of repository for your story before you break out documents. I use what I like to call a second brain, which is my Google Notebook. I use that in my narrative work too. I take all of the information that I've started to gather and I just start plopping in text sources over and over again, big text sources, small text sources, things that might have to do with the story, big, huge documents for whatever. And I take all of that information and then I use that as the kind of brain of the story and I build it out. As I build those things out, I add them as sources. I start extrapolating out ideas and plot lines and subplots and all of those things, and I drop them in Notebook. It's and you should do the same because ChatGPT has projects now, Claude has projects now, and you can take a bunch of your chats that you've had where you've iterated or extrapolated out this universe, and you can take all of those chats that you've been using and then drop them all into one project, and it will use all of that information. And you could take some documents that you build in Google Notebook, right, and take those and drop those into projects also as individual files or PDFs or whatever. And then you have this really easy, quick, easy way to create compelling characters super quickly. I, and it also works for outlining. You can get your outlines really, really comprehensive if it has all of those different aspects of your story, including when you're making sources inside of Google Notebook. Sometimes you should brain dump. It's a concept that Pseudo-Write had a long time ago where you have this brain dump and you just kind of tell it everything about the story that you can think of. I use dictation to do that brain dump part. So I would actually just dictate everything I think about the story, everything I know about the story, every little aspect that I can think of at that moment. And I drop that in as a resource, as a source. It gives the AI my perspective on how I think the story should go, on what I think of the protagonist, of how I think the antagonist should be, pushing and motivating the protagonist to finish the story and evolve as a character. All these things can happen if you drop them into some aggregate brain, second brain of some sort. So if I were you, that's what I would do. Notion's trying to become a second brain right now, but I don't know. Anyway, so when you're outlining your stuff and you're getting all of these, you're iterating on this process and you're maybe in Raptorite and you're trying to figure out all these things, then take any information that you're creating, any documents that you're creating, and then put them over in something else, because Raptorite, remember, lives on your browser, in your browser's memory. So I mean, you can do whatever you want, but it's very, 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 very dangerous for you to not back your stuff up. So you have to back everything up. But also, when you're creating these things inside of Raptorite, it's good to pull things out and mm, have a second opinion brain or something like that over here. So that's why I use Notebook, and you could use Notebook, or you could use Projects, or you could use Projects over at Claude and do the exact same thing. And bam, you've got all of this really deep and detailed information that you created in that 3-hour part of the day. Ideation 1 hour, 3 hours of, and remember, may not be right for you. This is me telling you my personal experience, me looking at the class, right, of Novella in one day, and then taking those ideas and extrapolating even more stuff out, right? I didn't tell you everything inside of that course because there's so much information inside of that course. So definitely click the link below if you are interested in writing a novella in a day. All right. So, and part of that information is showing you how I do it, showing you why and how I get things done. And that's how I do it. That is basically it. That's every single thing that I really kind of wanted to go over with you today. Let me look here. Orla, I hate Notion. Can I get it? Get on with it at all. I get that. I get that. It's it is I wouldn't say it's an acquired taste. I would say that it's just extremely it's very eh, the learning curve can be a little steep. Let's just say that. It can be a little bit steep. Wow. We're now up to 54 people hanging out and starting the year out with the Future Fiction Academy. This is wonderful, everyone. I've had a blast. Last year was a great year for me. I figured out what I like to do wholeheartedly is teach people how to do things, especially if I know how to do that thing. And this has been an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to show y'all what we are about to do in this next year. We're going to be probably moving my podcast, the Future of Fiction podcast, over to the Academy, or making a link to the Academy, something like that. But we're going to be putting this podcast, hopefully, starting in February. I'm gonna get some aggregate stuff up and start putting things out like once every 2 weeks, starting in February. And we're going to talk to some of the leaders in the publishing industry about artificial intelligence, but mostly about how you, as an author, can get a leg up in this very modern times. You're an independent. There are all these publishers out there who are hungry for books. And there is a very strong possibility that you could get signed with one of these publishers. But you might not have to. Maybe this year, maybe you are the publisher. Maybe you are putting out 25 things this year. That would make you quite the publisher, quite the individual who is in charge of their own destiny. Wouldn't you like to be in charge of your own destiny, do me a favor. Like and subscribe to the Future Fiction Academy. And hit that notification bell because YouTube likes to YouTube. And we will definitely make sure that you have all of the information you need to make sure that you can be the best publisher of fiction that you possibly can be. Are you excited about 2025? Are you excited about the fact that you could create so many things? This is the biggest problem I have had as an author, not having enough time to get the stories I've loved out. And that right there is worth the price of admission just just to have the ability to write the stories that could change the world, y'all. Have you ever heard the statement that, oh, yeah, I read this thing and it totally changed my mind about how I should do this? Yeah, you have. It happens all the time. People read things, see things, are influenced by things. They're much more profoundly influenced by things when they read them. And you are powerful. So you should think about how to use this new superpower, this great responsibility that you've been given to change the world one word at a time. I want you, the individual, to change this world and make it into the thing that you want it to be. If you don't do that, if you don't make this world into something better than what it is, then I'm not exactly sure what you doing. I am here to make the world a better place. Not as a mantra, but just as a generality. I don't want to make the world worse. I want to make it better. And a lot of the ways that I used to make it better was by acting and emoting and showing the experience of individuals who are caught up in different situations that may not be familiar to that person who's watching that IP, that piece of that show, whatever it is. I used to spend all of my time trying to figure out the best way to give of myself so that a person could see maybe that they were doing things or feeling things the wrong way, and maybe they should be concentrating on something else. Hell, maybe you write a book about dogs, a dog story, and it becomes a sensation and spurs a whole bunch of people to adopt a bunch of dogs or cats. Maybe you write something and somebody, some leader in some totalitarian state reads that passage and decides to turn towards benevolence. Maybe, maybe, maybe you just change one person's life, some insignificant individual who you've never met and probably never will. And that person changes the world. That's the power that we are talking about right now. That's the power of writing. That's the power of using artificial intelligence to help you get your story out. Think of all of the people that can now write books like me and my neurally divergent brain. So, what I want you to do is if you are interested in learning more than you ever thought you could, please click on that link below and go down to the Future Fiction Academy, where we have lots of standalone classes and even more are coming. If you like this, you'll love and mayhem. I mean, romance and mayhem. If you liked this, you'll love the real class on how to actually write a novella in a day. If you want a community that really understands everything you're going through, sign up for the Rap to Write course, get yourself some free classes, come over to the Future Fiction Academy, and enjoy every class that you can have. uh, what's this? Wow. I'm just I'm just speaking from my heart. I'm just speaking from my heart. Um, I love how motivational and calming you are. Thanks. 48-hour novella was called Christmas Stray. Oh! I love dogs. I am a donator to the ASPCA every year. I'm surprised they actually didn't call me this year, which means I've got to drop a donation in. Actually, I missed my opportunity to donate this year, so no taxes for me. Rachel said the FFA. Yes, the FFA rocks. The founder was in at the very beginning when she taught the GPT. When she taught on GPT 3.0. Man, that was so long ago, y'all. It actually feels like just a completely different era. 3.0. That was what blew up, y'all. 3.0 came out 2 years ago. Just 2. And it made every other aspect of artificial intelligence just blow up and flow out like you would not believe. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. Wow. So is that Christina back there on the Future Fiction Academy thing? Because if she is, thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. All right, everyone. Let's see. Oh, yes, I do. I remember when 3.5 was a big deal. Oh, yeah, it is Christina. Nice. She's doing my backup work for me, and I appreciate that. I love my team. Don't you love your like when you can find some like really good team to work with? It's just so awesome. Like we didn't they the team, they leave me to my own devices and they know I'll get my work done. And it's so nice that people just show up in the background and do some work helping me out and helping me with these things. And I didn't even know that Christina was going to even be there. It's just awesome. This is awesome. Like, and I can count on her. I can count on Stacy. I can count on all of them. It's so amazing and such a wonderful company to work for. And I hope that you all have gotten something out of this. I hope you have, because we kind of just went through the ideas of how you would write a novel in a day and really kind of gave you kind of a wetted whistle when it comes to a class at the FFA. I am not the smartest person in the room, and I still feel like I can help contribute to your knowledge base through this YouTube channel. There's some smart people inside of the FFA creating classes and stuff like that right now. Crazy smart people, to the point where I have to get tutored. I am not ashamed to say that I get tutored in order to make sure that I understand these things. I get tutored. I will call Lissa or anybody that's smarter than myself up as quickly as possible and have them help me with my shortcomings and it's not that I don't get it. It's just that it needs to it melds into my brain matter. Some of the specific things where we have something called Rexy 2.0. It's a version of a piece of software that we developed a long time ago when we didn't know what we were doing. And 2.0 rocks. It's so much better, but it's hard. It's not like I often say that Rexy 1.0 is kind of calculus. Okay. meaning that you have to kind of have basis for all this other stuff in order to understand how to use it. In some ways it's pretty difficult to use. Rexy 2.0 is algebra. It's not calculus. It's not as hard. It's algebra, which means that there are all these things that you can, all these ways that you can do things, but there's this wonderful base and it only does one thing now. It used to do a bunch of stuff, but now all it does is sequence. So Rexy 1.0 has this thing bolted on this thing, and it's like Frankenstein's monster. But I cannot tell you the joy of working with Rexy 2.0. It's just like heaven now. So, I'm in the group helping to develop it, and we're just having a blast playing around with it. Okay, I think that's about it. If you want anything, if you need any help, sign up for Raptorite. Get the Raptorite free introduction to AI class. Get your feet wet. Figure it out over at the Future Fiction Academy. Get Raptorite. Look at watch my introduction to Raptorite video on here, or you can look at my introductory class that has a few other side projects and things inside of my introductory class, including the video that was made here on YouTube. So if you want to, you could definitely go over there and have yourself an absolute blast learning with the Future Fiction Academy. All right, that's it, everybody. My name's Ikello Herod. This is the Academy, and I don't think there's anything else I need to say to you other than I will see all of you, each and every single one of you. I'll see you all in class. Have a good day. Bye.